The Village Idiot. Last night I was having I was having a bit of a late dinner at this little diner, this little like piece of shit diner. It's called the Village Inn. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. It's basically like I guess it's like a shittier version of IHOP. And I was enjoying it. I enjoy, minimalistic little things like that, cheap, simple little, restaurants and I don't necessarily like to spend a lot of money. I'm a minimalist, right? I just enjoy simple, easy, quick things. And this restaurant, the Village Inn, it reminded me of this guy who's I guess we can call him the Village Idiot. And basically this guy was a guy that my mom used to date. He's this rich Jewish guy. He's like some big real estate tycoon or whatever. And he's really miserable. Like his wife left him his kids. He has two daughters. They hate him. Um, he just he made a lot of money, but no one likes him, and he's very lonely. And he's always he's always trying to get my mom back. He's always texting her years later, trying to get her to go on dates with him and shit like that. And she always turns him down. Anyways, this guy used to talk to me and my mom. I remember when they were dating, I would hang out with them a few times. And he used to tell us about how when he was poor, he used to eat at the Village Inn and how it was so humiliating to him. And he used to drive like a Toyota instead of like the BMW or Mercedes that he drives now. And he basically, the whole thing was, he was like, it was just so humiliating, not making a lot of money and eating at the Village Inn and driving like my little Japanese car and stuff like that. Basically, he was suffering because he felt like he was poor, and he was ashamed of his current situation, right? He was ashamed that he can't eat at the nice restaurants, he can't drive the nice cars and live in the big houses and all that. And it's funny because I find myself in that same position that he this was when he was my age, by the way, when he was in his early 20s, he was living like this. And that's how I'm living right now. I drive the little Japanese car, I eat at the Village Inn, and the difference though between me and him, the difference is that I love this lifestyle. See, this doesn't bother me. Eating at average Joe places, driving an average Joe car, wearing average clothes. These things don't bother me one bit. If anything, I'm actually more proud of them than I would be if I had nice things and a big nice house and a big nice car. Because here's the thing, right? This guy suffered. This guy suffered his whole life trying to climb this ladder to get all this money, to become this big hot shot. He stabbed people in the back. He fucked people over. He did whatever he had to do to get wherever he wanted to go because he thought, once I reach this level, once I get this money, I'm going to be the shit. I'm going to have tons of women. It's going to fill the void inside me, right? He felt empty because he's living a mediocre, in his mind, what he thinks was a mediocre lifestyle. And the tragedy is that once he finally got rich, nothing changed. Nothing good happened. I'll put it this way. Yeah, he attracted some women who were attracted to his money, and they had kids with him. But guess what? They divorced him and they took the kids. And he never really got to see his kids much. He had two daughters, and they grew up to hate him because, they grew up with their mom, and the mom just shit-talked him and, said he's a piece of shit, and, they believed her. So he lost his kids, he lost his wife, so he has messed up relationships with his kids, right? Yeah, he has this big mansion, but he lives alone in it. He doesn't know who his friends are anymore. Because when you're rich like that, you're always suspicious. Does this person like me for me? There's this person around me for my money. So he always has trust issues. Can I trust the people around me? And he basically 99% of the time, he judges like, no, they're just using me. And 99% of the time, he's right. Most people that come around him are using him. So he lives with this paranoia that I'm being used. Everyone's trying to fuck me out of my money at every turn. And he's pretty much right for the most part. Everyone is just trying to fuck him out of his money. No one really likes him. And, he's lonelier now than he ever was. And in a sense, he's the same person. He's just has more money. And nothing has really changed. He can't keep people around him. He can't build that happy life or whatever that he thought chasing this money would do for him. So he eats at nicer restaurants now. He drives nicer cars or whatever, but he's still the same miserable guy he was all those years ago. So the moral of this is, and here's the thing, I wanted to be like him when I used to hang out with him. I used to want to be rich like him and, drive the nice cars and all that. But as time goes on and I saw how it's such a burden owning those things and how people become fake and, people prey on you when they think you have things. And you have to work ridiculously hard to get there. I'm like, you know what? Simple is better. Easy is better. I like this simple lifestyle. I still get everything I like out of this life without really having to work that hard. So I'm sitting at the Village Inn last night, right? And I'm like, I'm 22 and I'm thinking about him when he was 22. And the only difference between me and him, if me and him were sitting across from each other at that table, because he's like in his late 50s now, right? So if me and him were sitting across each other at this table at the Village Inn, the only difference between me and him is that he views this as an embarrassment. He's climbing to the top. He wants to be rich and powerful one day and not be humiliated. And he's not living in the moment. He's suffering in the moment so that he can chase this fantasy he has in his head that one day he's going to be able to achieve peace and happiness by becoming rich. And then you have me sitting across from him. I'm also 22, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I know it's overrated. I know the American dream is a lie. I'm not going to chase that. I'm not going to get married in this country. I'm not going to kill myself and be miserable in my youth so that I can achieve wealth in my 40s and 50s and just be this miserable, empty person who had to really do dirty things to get where I want to go and sell my soul. I'll climb slowly. I'll make my money slowly. I'll invest it slowly. I've got time. I'm just going to enjoy the moment. I like the simple things. It's not all it's cracked up to be. That's how I feel. And one of us suffers, or at least suffered, way more than the other one when he was 22. Whereas me, I got to learn through him what a joke that lifestyle is. And it's really a blessing to know at such a young age that there's really nothing worth chasing. There's nothing you have to race out there and get. All of these, a lot of it is bullshit. A lot of this, high price, flashy lifestyle, whatever. It's all a load of horse shit. And the problems that come with it far outweigh the benefits. I bet you this guy just wishes he could go back to being anonymous. Wishes he could just have a simple little lifestyle. And wishes that he didn't piss away his 20s and 30s or whatever, chasing and chasing. When he could have just sat back, slowed down, soaked it all in, enjoyed the moment. And not been on this, running in this hamster wheel of I've got to get this, I've got to get that. When you have that mentality, you sacrifice the moment for the promise of the future. And a lot of the times you're disappointed with what's waiting at the end of that. It's not what it was cracked up to be. And you wish you could just go back and take your time and enjoy your younger years and just build things slowly and learn to be humble and content with the simple things in life. Because at the end of the day, attachment leads to suffering, whether that's attachment to high-price, flashy things, or whether that's attachment to a fantasy that things are going to get better once you have this. That very attachment to that fantasy is what makes you suffer in the moment. And I don't have any attachments to any fantasies anymore. So I can just, kick my feet up at the Village Inn, eat my, cheap little meal, get in my cheap little car, and cruise on down the street without a care in the world. And to me, that's true freedom. That's true power. I guess that's just the story about the village idiot.